fixed. Let's see what it's looking like over. Alright, it looks like I got it. All is well. Alright, wonderful. And also, while I was waiting to see if it was going to work properly, I came over here earlier today and we bought the Winter's Island, as you may recall. And I had come and checked for it over here, but I figured out today that what I needed to do was go and essentially went to buy a house pretty much, went to the marketplace, and went down and found it, and then I had already paid for a deed, but I was able to, I don't know, activate the deed, I suppose. I wish I had been on camera for that. But so we have the Winter Island, Island Winter Prestige Home. We call it the Winter Island down here. We're gonna go in and see what that looks like over there. Now again, this is the basic island with nothing done to it whatsoever. So this is what you'll be looking at. I ended up spending, I want to say like 920 day great cash after the sale that it's on, plus my membership discount. So I think it was around 100 or 920 day break cash for this. It takes a little while to load from zone to zone on live, significantly longer than Origins. But someday it's gonna load over there any minute now. Really, it's gonna happen. Oh man, things are moving. Okay, here we go. We have all of this that I just supposed to see if there's no map. Didn't think there would be. But this is your island. You buy it and you get to decorate it however you see fit. So, maybe, I don't know, I gotta think about it, but might, I might be willing to let you folks decorate it if you want to. Um, because I don't really have any plans to do anything with it. I was just, essentially buying it and, thought you guys might want to see it. I noticed that you can land on this rack out here, so you could potentially put stuff out here. I suspect you can also land on these. I see these different equipment. I mean, there's a lot of potential for things if you wanted to do stuff with it. You put that on here. Let's see. The water is water. It's not ice, so you can go under there. I suppose maybe you could put fish in there and everything too, because there are fish plushies and crabs and all manner of things. So, if you wanted to get one of these Winter Island homes, you could do all kinds of things, I'm sure. And I have no doubt that you're much more imaginative about such things than I am, because I am virtually non-imaginative in that regard. But there it is, and I'm glad that I was able to successfully show you that. We do have some rocks there, and again, we're not putting a little mermaid on here or something. I think there's a mermaid plushie in the game. So you could have a little mermaid sitting on your docks there. Oh, I mean, it's not dogs, I'm wrong. Alright, so let's leave the house. As I was trying to say earlier, I believe that we have a possibility as far as these presents. But I was thinking about it. Maybe if I took off all of Avera's clothes and just turned everything off, maybe it would give enough, I would have enough stuff off that I would be able to not have a safe harbor. We shall see. We got to run all the way up to northeast England here. And thank you for the call. We got Pinchy Present Dealer over there with a update. He says, "Hi, Orgare. I'm so glad to see you. I could just burst. Did you find Lord Ghostbright yet?" I said, "Yes. The Giggle Givers had him captive in their hideout. Not feeling." He says, "Yippee! That is the greatest news I've heard since Lord Ghostbright entered and started letting us eat nothing but candy on the 5th day of every week." And I say, "He said you should send me to your elfin wonderland." And she says, "Oh, really? Oh, boy, I really don't want to spoil things, but that could be a bit of a problem. You see, we used some of our magic to make pretty flowers to leave them moving to see if we could cheer him up. That just made it even more cost, so we used the rest of our magic to escape. We only have enough left to send you there, not to bring you back or to send any of us with you. Help." I say, "I doubt you can help anyway. Lord Bushbright said he would meet you there, so go ahead and send him." He says, "I just don't feel right about sending you. What if you got hurt or that Gobby's mean to you?" I just couldn't live with myself knowing I was responsible. Not to mention that what's left of our magic is being guarded by the most super meanest monsters ever. They ate you. Oh, dear. And I say, you have to trust that Lord Bullsbright knows what he's doing. And he says, "Well, I guess you're right. Lord Bullsbright has never once let us down, except for that one time he said he could use magic to make the grass taste like candy, and we messed it up, and the grass tasted like eggs, and that was really weird. But besides that, he's never once let us down." And I say, "Right." So we accept this quest, and now, he says, "I'm just really, really worried either you or Lord Bushbright could be hurt by those monsters. If I give you a pack of enchanted snowballs, can you cross your heart promise to get rid of those monsters and get all of our elfin magic to give to Lord Bushbright when he arrives? The magic will help you to get rid of that big old meanie goblin. Promise?" And I say, "I promise. Will you please just send me down?" He says, "Okay, off you go, good buddy. When you get into our home, you'll magically be given a pack of snowballs and your hat. Remember, don't underestimate the power of the snowballs, and remember to put your Frostfell hat on when you get there, or you'll freeze." I say, "Thanks." And then zone, zone. It's pretty funny how long it takes compared to on Origins. All right. We received an elfin snowball section. All right. I need to collect a bottle of red elfin magic. I need to collect a bottle of green elfin magic. I need to collect a bottle of yellow, purple, and silvery elfin magic. Now let's see what we have here. We have the elfin snowball satchel. Applies the snowball when activated. Lasts for 1 second. So that's here in our quest helper window. We should be able to click it from there. Let's just test it out there on this side. In this one. Well, it did not kill him, but it did pretty good. Now, we're not collecting things this way, I know. So, let me think about this for a second. We have the wolf, we need to put on the hat. And we probably ought to show our hat so that we can see exactly how beautiful this is. Right now I have my helmet covered, but let's go ahead and show you. Heck yeah. Let's take a moment to admire. There he is, in all his glory. All right. Now, what is it that I'm doing wrong? Because they have a little bag. So I wonder if, first, let's get that for a second. Let's see if maybe we start the fight and end it with the bag. Let's see. No, that didn't do any good. I need to go to the alchemy underground and get all of the alchemy magic. Instead of doing that, I need to address the problem of the gut. My frostfell or catch come in handy at keeping the gold away. I need to collect all of the alchemy magic scattered around the alchemy. Hmm. It certainly makes the lot easier to kill, but what it's not doing is giving us any pieces. Oh, thank you for the contribution, Lisa, huh? That just completely turned that. Yet, we're still not getting the updates that we need to be getting here. So, hmm, what's that all about? I'd hate to kill all these guys only to find out that I'm missing some key points. Those are not really. So, has to do, okay, class per snowball and after the last room, second puts 54% of max entrance food damage. The snowball cannot break this creature. The snowball seems to hurt this creature, however. I don't know. I keep using it. You see if it works. I mean, if it doesn't, I can always come back later. No big deal. So, it's not particularly difficult to kill these guys, even in whatever gear I'm currently in. I'm in an adventure gear, but with a Frostfell Holiday, I'm almost going to change into my Frostfell gear. Doubt it would matter too much. But no, if you stick with the preferred thing. the regularly scheduled closing. And keep our eye out for various emojis, which, often things like that are going to be shinies, or in this case, we've got this bottle of golden magic, all of that shininess around it. It was like a big glowing sign. Hey, here I am. So, I'm going to try to move one of these windows just so that it's a little easier for me to see everything. Not that it matters a great deal. And there we have a bottle of elfin magic. That is the silvery elfin magic. Ah, but now the snow maker blocks our path. Don't know if I use that yet. I'm not sure what I use it. Alright, all we have left is the red elfin magic, the green elfin magic, elfin magic, and the yellow elfin magic. Alright, so one of these can pass this way, which is to the beginning. And another one of this. So let's move back this way. I didn't look me if there's anything about in here. There's nothing of note anything. So let's see what we've got destruction. Nice turn. There we have a bottle. Alright, and that is a nice golem. That looks suspicious. So let's get down. And see this sword over there has a bottle clearly behind it. So, moving in the right direction here, I would say. And then we have the ice sword over here. And that ought to be the last bottle of health and magic. And now I'm supposed to be Grump. The Remedies is probably going to be in that little building that we just looked at. So if we go like this, yes. So we'll head toward that little hut over there. I think. Alright, so let's put this and then we'll check over it because it just seems like that's a good spot for him to do. However, it does not look like that's where he is. So, let's see what other suspicious areas you have going on here. That's the beginning of this one. First we went to the right, so let's check to the left. Okay, I see that over there. With a book that was set up inside. But hey, look at this. More ghostwriting company right here. So, let's go ahead and thread this wool. And then let's step 10. What Ghostbat says, we've done well over here. Now that we have the magic, we can send you over the wall to talk to that menial Grump. Are you ready? I guess so. He says, 1, 2, 3. Just cross the bridge. We will see you on the other side. I say, whoa. He's buying a reindeer and a little bridge. And it has hearts floating on it like it's friggin' Valentine's Day. Here we have a bunch of reindeer and a bunch of presents and dear old Santa Claus. No, Grumgus, whatever. Alright, Grumgus, for mages, who knows? He says, get out of here. He leaves me alone. I say, calm down, I just want to talk to you. He says, who's don't wants to talk to me? Who's just want to make fun of me like everyone else? Know your tricks. Now go away. I say, Grumgus, promise I'm not here to tease you. Please just hear me out. He says, fine, I'll listen to you. But if you say one mean thing about me, well, you just don't want to know what I do. I say, Primigus, I know you don't like Frostfell because the goblins were mean to you and you never got any presents, but you can't ruin it for everyone. He says, why can't I? All of the gifting day presents are mine. Now everyone knows what it's like to get nothing but frost. That's what they all deserve, too. And I say, Primigus, that isn't true. What about all the little girls and boys who get teased like you did, but have nice parents who give them gifting day presents? You don't want to ruin their Frostfell, do you? He says, well, no. I don't want the nice little kitties to be sad. Just the mean little kitties and the mean little goblins and the mean little trolls and the mean little dark elves. I just want them to be sad, like I was. And I say, Frostfell doesn't always have to be like that for you. You could make friends outside of the gift givers to share gifts and day. He says, yeah, right. No one wants to be my friend, so I'm just a mean old little goblin. Who would ever wants to be my friend? I say, maybe if you're nice to me and agree to give the presents back, the elves will be your friends. They seem willing. He says, do you really think so? That would be so great. We could make Frostfell pies together and give each other presents. God, that would be so wonderful. I have promises to give all the presents back if they would be my friends. I say, let's ask them. Then I talk to the Ghostbite, and he says, poor Grumpy is just a sad little goblin. We would love for him to stay here with us and be happy forever and ever. I say, I'm sure you'll all be very happy together. Thanks, little Ghostbride. Grimmagus says, they will be my friends. They will. I can't even tell you how happy I am. Finally, I can be myself without being teased by those nasty mean goblins. I've always wanted to be good, but they would never let me. Always ruining everything nice I ever did. Thank you, Edgar, for helping me make new friends with the elves. You could go ahead and pick one of these presents. I say, you're welcome, Grimmagus, and I get the Frostfell Elf Cat with superior warmth. Wonderful. It's just what I wanted, as opposed to the one that I previously had, whatever it was called. I think what I'll do actually is put on this random level 60 piece of gear that I apparently have equipped and and save that. And then go my frostball gear and maybe equip the hat there. Maybe not. Let's check and see. What are the currents? It's a current situation here. We have a nice red and white hat. Very, very lovely. We could have the same hat. Okay, something's very wrong here. Let's try that again. That definitely says blue and white crossbow caps. It's definitely red. Okay, let's reset. Okay, now blue and white. I kind of like the blue and white actually. I think it matches his whole style so much better. Yeah, I like it like this. Good. So wondrous, lovely. Right, right. Okay, so we got both sprites saved. Of many other things we could do, I should take the present to Grump off the college. That. Gotta go grab this present over here. All right. I helped the elf restore their home. Seems it was taken over by a giver goblin referred to as the Grump. It seems he stole all the presents in the world. Luckily, the elves and radio proxies listened to him, and he has returned all of the presents. I've got an ad starting in 39 seconds. Now, you can choose one of these items as I've found. And what we're going to do, because it's the best and wonderfulest way, we're going to check and see, like, all these things go on the broken. We'll get the thing that goes for the used. We have a frigid snowman. There's also this lovely festive kibble. Look, it looks like this. Oh, that is festive. I'm tempted. But let's start with the frigid snowman. Okay, that's a hinged frigid snowman. So there's no actual, just regular, just frigid snowman thing now. How's about a burnt gingerbread? Yeah, but only if I can find nothing. Dark frostbite goblin. Nothing. This is crazy. See, now I don't know what to do. At a loss. Let's see what these things look like. We have a mound of snow, as the name implies. Ooh, he's he's fancy. That's something right there. And then we have a dark frostbite goblin. These less impressive ones. I'm not going to take the tokens. Those are nothing. This is a very nice cake. I'll tell you. Very nice. But I feel like maybe the gingerbread man is the. I think that's what I'm going to do. Gingerbread man it is. All right, now. Actually, need to go toward the beginning of this. So, yeah, actually, I guess we better go this way because we need to get back over that wall. No rainway coming up. So perhaps we're going to the coast guard. Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? Maybe. Well, I'll talk to Coast Guard first, but if I can't just get out pretty quickly, then I think I'll just. Okay, this is pretty good. Frostfell Wonderland Village. That's a little faster. I was going to take the fast travel over to Crumbles now to wreck it in the shower. Now, just as a reminder, these snowballs, you can throw them at people. I'll save that, and then I think, well, I don't think it matters too much. I still have my harvesting gear for the moment. Just to harvesting this stuff on the way, but then I think what I'm going to do is try taking off everything and maybe even make a naked set of clothing for the next time I have to do something of that nature. Because I can't figure out what is giving me safe call. And I feel like it almost has to be one of my pieces of clothing. But maybe I'll do that now and we can test if that's the issue. We'll take off the mount first, obviously. Know that I have an ability. This illusion gives safe call, you know, that happening. Now let's just see what it looks like right now. Oh, actually, didn't notice any safe call. Seemed okay. Or not, I'm not even trying to say safe call, I'm trying to say feather fall, actually. Okay, oh, good. Good to know. I think that I do want to find some more. There used to be a way to hide familiar. I don't remember how. We just do slash hide. Well, I didn't get rid of anything definitely the mercenary. But okay, so go and find some more of it. Then we can just summon this okay, as well. Dismiss him. Get all that out of the way to go on this race basically. Alright, so gotta think this through. What can I do better other than just fail at less? Alright, let's give it a shot. I feel like there was something that I intended to do, but I didn't do. In preparation. Basically, what we have to do is we have to run around three these cubes in order. Already made a terrible mistake by getting that. Because these guys can send us like that, which can be good or bad. Somehow, even though I ran right to the cube, it did not register. The hitboxes are a little bit tricky. And so, the good news is I did not intend to succeed this time around anyway. I think that didn't get that. Maybe it did. Snowballs. I guess it did. So there's that. That is unfortunate. I think I went the wrong way. Well, let's see. Maybe. Yes, I see what happened. And it turned around early and that's when it didn't get the trigger like this. I think you have to run up on the man. That's a bad thing too. Like I just did. Get again? Yeah, don't do that, guys. Don't do this at home. Doing pretty bad today, though. Did that not trigger? I think it did not trigger. Yeah, this is just a miserable. Huh. Nice. Miserable attempt right here. It's alright. Hmm. That was. So it's not too bad overall. We've got 21 out of them. I think there's 29 of them coding. So getting 21 um, isn't terrible. We'll run on back to Scott and try this again. Maybe I'll be better this time. Maybe not. Never know. Somebody hit me with a snowball. How weird. Alright, let's give this another shot. So I think the brown boxes seem to send you flying. I thought at first that the purple boxes, blue boxes, weren't doing anything. But I think now they might be. I think I just missed it. Sure did. Oh no. Everything bad has gone wrong. Um, but I think that actually the purple boxes are doing something. I think they're slowing down. So, important to not hit those guys for sure. Oh, That went too far. It's one fairly decent one since I don't have the safe or the snowball on. It helps tremendously. Let's see if we can not get that bad rat. Everything's bad there. It's okay. No, that's miserable. That was number 28, though, so that's pretty decent. And that's clean. Pretty. All right, we got it. Success. Didn't even have to take all of the plates off or anything for them getting rid of the slurp ball. I don't know what it was that I'd had on radio. But had that going, but oh, we got it anyway. So now we go put our mount back on. And here's what grab the familiar backpack too. And hey, why not remove the illusion? And then we can go follow back out to the dude over there, fresh to shine. And that'll be good. Alright, fresh to shine. Candy came to me. He says, you're back. Did you get him? I said, sure did. The candy cane surplus has been restored. He says, wow, that's great. Thanks so much for your help. Well, I got to figure out how that happened in the first place. Probably Jarek ended up no good again, getting no good again. Well, anyway, thanks a bunch. You're my hero. I said, you're welcome. And then I'm going to look over here. And again, I'm going to determine what the best item is by the price of it on the bill, because that just seems a great way to do it. We're going around with process. So that's 50,000 if we have it left to that asset. There's 50 million for leather wrap for the process. There aren't any of those on. You see, these are not too clever. These are the other ones. Saturn Frostfell Holiday. That's 55 million. Solemn Frostfell Candace. Silver Hardline Buffers. Nothing. We got red and gold. Hardline Buffers. No. Alright. So then, I think what we want are the ones that aren't listed at all. So I think the solemn ones look like this. So those could be used for a lot of different holidays. I think the leather wrapped ones won't in existence either. That's kind of cool. Leather wrapped presents. So solemn or leather wrap. Also, containing silver goggles are not listed. So, yeah, let's think. I should just decide which one would be nice. I think if you wanted any of these, you'd want a lot of them. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and grab those. I like these pretty well. Let's accept that. Alright, good stuff. Now, we can hop over here and do the crafting quest. That doesn't take super long. It's right over there. Looks like we've got an ad starting in 28 seconds. And, every time I see a shiny, I've got to grab it. It seems like. Alright. So, we're going to go into permafrost prep, decorating with retribution. Yeah. Alright. So, I'm going to come and pick up the quest due to these guys. This one says, time to deck these holes. Can you craftily make the boots? It has wreath kits with all the bits you need. We need you to make them. I say, I'll make the wreaths. Then we have Ned, who says, Frostfell tree is the big important part of Frostfell. It has all the bits to make us larger. Here, you crafted the layers of the tree and give them to me. I will put them all together. Just because it's not a real tree, don't mean it's not a Frostfell tree. I say, I will create the Frostfell tree pieces for you. Newt says, stockings can hold tasty treats or smelly feats, and wants to put lots of them in. Then I'll decide later in time what gifties to put in it. Can you crafty sew me some stockings? I say, I will craft the stockings. Gut says, hey, I'll be needing someone crafty to help me make a table for big feasting. Can you create the table parts for me? I'll do hard work putting it all together. And I say, you bet. Rumors says, nothing says Frostfell like a big foodie piece. Can you cook up 6 foodie yum dishes for me? I say, I will cook the dishes. Dux says, Frostfell needing pretty lights. Candles are pretty pretty for that. Make me some candles, please, yes? And I say, I'll make you some candles. Gloss says, Frostfell tree needs gifties underneath. Can you make some gifty boxes for me? Don't worry about putting gifties in them. I say, I will craft the gift boxes. Zed's Frostfoot says, I want to put up big and fancy bows. Can you craft you some pretty bows for me to put on on cold walls? I say, I will create the bows. Alright. Now, the first thing we need to do is make sure we have plenty of fuel. And the recipe books. That's also important. And I think this character hasn't done any of these quests before. I better get all of these keys. Because if you find these chests out in the wilderness, then you can open them and get the rest. But let's get, well, we'll get a couple of stacks, a few stacks of each turn. But also, we need to get these recipe books by the Vigilian. Because apparently this character has just not done this stuff somewhere. It's not tagged based. Oh, that's very strange. I'm just going to buy all of them and scribe them all. I'm gonna grab those because I have to make sure that I didn't miss one just a second ago. I had a momentary distraction, and that's all it takes for me to forget if I got something and get uncertain. Okay, we're still good. There are so many Frostfell recipes, it's crazy. I was just talking earlier to you guys about how EverQuest 2 has the most extensive particularly Christmas season, just celebration of any annual that I've ever seen since just the volume of things to do related to what they call Frostfell. Um, it's incredible. And they always add to it a little bit. So even if you've done it, 15 times before, you can still do it again and find some new things. Alright, got all that stuff. Now we're gonna have to get all of the ingredients that we need for all this stuff. I don't think we're gonna need very much of any of it, but I'll go ahead and get 2 harvests of each thing. Well, no, depending on the one is all that's needed, because it says you already have Frostfell timber and cannot have another. So, one per thing is all we need. Very nice. Alright, so we got all the stuff, and the easy way to do this is to come just type in Frostfell or potato. We then not have apparently the recipe book scrap that you need to. It's also a lot of part of it. There we go. Now, now that again, so that looks a little better. Maybe not. Okay. I'm good. Reading. No. Well, try on the next table. All right. There we go. That's more like it. But first, let's put on our crafting gear because that'll speed things up tremendously. And you're crafting on this server. It's simple enough. You can just use the abilities that are in your window there. They are the correct level. Unlike the ones on Origins, where you have to make your own hotbar or crafting your knowledge rope live. You can just craft right from your window safely. It's nothing that's not convenient. So we're going to need 6 of each item pack. Did you see that? My crafting expertise shines through. So I got my components back. Isn't that exciting? That's probably from, I think, their shawl. Unfortunately, I'm not getting any crafting experience for this because the the crafting levels on live don't go up. Like I'm at 110 on my crafting level, and I cannot improve my crafting level, even though the max is 130 or 135, because I haven't done the quest line that would allow me to do that. Very frustrating scenario. Not that it would, be a big deal anyway. I mean, doing this kind of crafting, it doesn't matter regardless, but it's a little bit frustrating. Sorry about all the strange, extraneous noise. There's, my son's comics and card shop, and, they go to the room, but I'm in. He's being, everything does people are traveling back and forth from a D&D game with, yes, that is because I did not succeed in any of the gift set. Now, as someone was commenting earlier, when I do crafting, I always use, but almost always use 3 out of the 6 available abilities. 3 is the most that we can use. You can either go increase progress, or you can increase durability, or you can do a mix of both. But you can do them every time. You don't have to be counting an event in order to press the buttons, and they do still assist you in making the craft go faster, or in keeping you from losing the craft by using that thing basically every time. So it doesn't take too long to get through the whole Frostfell crafting quest. And this is when it can be repeated. I don't know if it's maybe daily, I don't remember. But you can definitely repeat it pretty regularly throughout the holiday season. I want to say the Frostfell lasts until January 5th. I'm not sure though. I feel like it's January 5th. Can't help but notice that my artifice in the rest are going got ahead of myself on that and hey, still doing here. Good evening. How you doing? I'm back in the Frostfell crafting room. Still doing maybe says not bad. Can't think of names they might too. Which name is it? And which server? You on the origins of it? Level 9, let's be camping. We're trying to get the Gula. Oh my. Camping room on live? Ah, that makes more sense for level. Okay, which mob is it? That's me. Let me know. Oh, the fall. Falling day. Hmm. So we're at 340 over there. Hey, if you're in Fallen Gates, Trevor, could you go and do me a favor and see if the tall Marin's brother's corpse is over in the hallway on my. Actually, I haven't checked since the big update yesterday. It hurt. Okay, so in Fallen Gate, in the first hallway to the right, after you get into Fallen Gate, the one that leads to the darkened room over there, and you see if the tall Marin's brother's corpse is there. It may be called like a decaying corpse or something like that, or it may just be a corpse. Um, it should be in the hallway on the way to the darkened room. There's like it'll be on the left side of that hallway. Alright, Lost says, you done craft making some gifty boxes? I say, all done, Lost. He says, cool, these are nice and good. Frostfell tree gets gifties underneath now. I say, I'm glad you like them. Then I head over to Ducks, who says, I can no see you. Are the pretty candles done yet? And I say, all done. He says, yay, now to set these pretty lights around this sealed off day. I say, have fun, Ducks. Crumbles says, I smell yummies. Is it the big Frostfell foodie feast? I say, it sure is. He says, thanks a bunches. I will set the foodie yums out soon. Yes. I say, sounds good, Wieners. Gut says, you done craft making the dinner table parts yet? I say, they're all done. He says, hooray, I do hard work of putting it all together right away. I say, the hard work. Knut says, did you crafty sew me some Frostfell stockings? I say, yes, I did, Knut. He says, pretty good. Now to be time for me to put 'em up on the stone pillars. I say, happy Frostfell. Nud says, you done craftying the layers of the tree yet? I say, I'm all done. He says, so good. I go fix all together and have us a super big Frostfell tree. I say, Merry Frostfell. And then Surdy says, have you crafty made the wreaths from your gear? I say, they're all done. He says, thanks. And has Smile's face now. I start deck these halls with wreaths right now. I say, you're welcome, Surdy. Fancy bows. See? I wonder if that is what we missed here. But you know what? It's not really this before. So hold on. Let's do a little check over here. Oh, we don't see it. Okay. Well, I'm not too surprised because it's not showing up on um, on origins. But I was curious if it was going to show up here. Crops the decorate clothes. Look at this. Come over and just start going. Oh, okay, that's the one that I had stopped in the middle of. That was the one. Cool. There we go. Well, thank you for checking, Strawberry One, maybe. I didn't even consider checking over here until you said you were in Fallen Gate, and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Alright, now we'll turn in 10. And that'll be the last little bit. Jesus, thanks, yes. I'm going to go put on cold balls for the unsuspicious sealed cave. And I say, you're welcome. And then we're going to wait. Follow him over to the cold wall by unsuspicious cave. It's not exactly fast, but we're going. You can see the Candace here. Food laid out, all of the goods. Something that they can do with them. And then leave my thoughts. You better leave now before I freeze you as I have the goblins. Don't even think of putting that tomorrow. So it's a once a day quest. Just stop because I clicked it. She says, I'm tired of running the goblins out of here. If you read what this ad's painting is, Sergi says, it is so cold. He says, no. Red says, someone craft me a sweater. Glimmer says, so cold. Gloss says, well, just come back tomorrow. Zeta says, not again. Doubt says, you'd think we'd be used to this by now. And Ned says, so there you go. Find the gift supply manager was the workshop that says we need to speak with Swords first for that. We also have another quest over there. But let's talk to his crafting with yourselves. Right. He says, guess box not as kaput as we thought. Well, we did good, so made it to crafting. Well, thanks to you anyway. I say, you're welcome. And then we accept our 10 tokens. And the bunny has a quest for us. Golly, look there. Frostfell sure has changed. I say, how so? She says, Frostfell has always been a simple holiday celebrated with family and friends. There was never any profit in it. That is different this year. I say, what happened? Yeah. Well, Mr. Squiggle sure didn't learn his lesson last year. So now we are all suffering for it. And so is our favorite holiday. I'm starting to really dislike the Frostfell season. I can't stand all of the flyers and advertisements. I say, is there anything I can do to help? She says, well, I'm not one to endorse violence, but I really think we should blow up his advertisement factory, this so-called McScribble for Public Relations and Advanced Marketing Consortium. I say, do you know where the headquarters is? She says, no, but we have heard rumors that it is in the Steamfont Mountains somewhere. One of my scouts by the name of Polonius found and detained a game fitter named Gimlet. They have questioned him, but his answers are nonsensical. I say, I could go question him. She says, would you? Oh, it's wonderful. You may use our portal to the Steamflight Mountains. My people have the Captain Gimlet at no man's security. The contact is Polonius Frostfell. I say, I'll take care of this, Green Bunny. Don't you worry. And then we have over here another pest from Guardian X Gift Giver. And you'll note that these are both people in army clothes. He says, don't hit me. I don't want to relive that all over again. I say, what are you talking about, Guardy? He says, I'm sorry. I'm not as ready for this year's festivities as I had thought. I've bruises have healed since last year, but I guess my nerves haven't. I say, what happened last year? He says, some brute roughed me up something fierce. He grabbed my bag of gifts and smashed all of my snow globes. That's why I didn't have any to give. I say, is that what is stopping you again this year? He says, yes, I still don't have any snow globe turned out. Besides, what kind of gift giver jumps at shadows? I say, you just need to get back in the holiday spirit. He says, it's worth a shot or dare. I would much rather enjoy the festivities. Could you get me more snow globes turned out? I say, I sure can, Guardy. He says, you'll find Joanne great fine constructor of Morathian snow globes in Antonica's Windstalker village. Tell her Guardy sent you, and thank you. I say, I'll let her know. Now, instead of looking at scribble over there, who says, this is private property and you don't have an appointment. But don't make me call my security. I say, do you have any work for me? He says, work for you? I suppose I could find something for you to do. You could shine my chair and I'll throw you a copper. I say, I think I'm a bit overqualified for that. Got anything else? He says, it depends. Are you going to just take my abuse or give me a witty retort? You're boring me right now, and I don't hire boring people for the screw corporation. And so, I'll say, is that why you hired gift givers? So you're not only entertained, but also feel smart? He says, that's better. I do, in fact, have some work for you. What's your name? I say, Dare. He says, well, Dare, there's a bit of nonsense that I have to deal with every Frostfell, and I'm sick of it. I'm willing to let you handle it for me. I will pay you fairly for your time, of course. I say, I'm in. He says, good, good. I'll just send you to my house. Wait there, and more instructions will be delivered. Are you ready to head there now? Oh, yes, I'm ready, sure. Crafting gear and all. Just to make sure food will. Now, I had forgotten about this. But here we are. All right. Winda gurgly giggle river, ghost of Frostfell Past. She says, "Oh, ah, boo! I'm the ghost of Frostfell's Past. You scared?" I say, "I'm not really." He says, "I knows you scared no matter what you say. Because this one time, when I saw a ghost, I was so scared that I swallowed my jum juice wrong, and it made this funny gurgling sound. And that's why they call me gurgly." I say, "Right. Well, okay then, gurgly. Can we get on with this?" He says, what was I here?" I say, "Show me the error of my ways by showing me how good my past was." He says, "Right, okay, let's see here. Ah, yes, I'm supposed to say, meaning McScroogy, it's time to face your past. You just need to realize what a big, fat old meanie pants you are." Now I shake my wand and poosh, he's a kid again. Ha ha ha. I say, "What? Hey, he, I mean, we, I didn't look like this when I was a kid." He says, "What's on a budget here? Stop complaining. It's close enough. Ready to go see your past, McScroogy?" I say, "Yes, let's go." So when Kobe says this is starting to feel like OGEQ camping this mob. Yeah, well, that's interesting. Most of the mobs for the army quests on live are pretty, pretty much always up. So that's curious that you're not finding her. Let's see, I've got an incoming ad break in 25 seconds. Stroby says I'm at the X and H2 much. So, all right, we got here. When did Berkeley get together again? Let's have a talk with it. Time traveling is a little confusing. And I say, "Yes, a bit. Where are we?" He says, "Was at your pal's Figure and Riddle's house." I say, "Why are we here?" He says, "So that you can learn from your mistakes." Didn't I tell you that already? When would be a better question, anyways. I say, "Okay, when is it?" He says, "It's Frostfell, 32 years ago, at the party where your very pretty girlfriend dumped you. This is fun, huh?" I say, "Reliving getting dumped doesn't seem fun to me." He says, "Go try it, and then you can see if you still isn't having fun." I say, "All right." All right, here is Lenny Cogspinner. Scrooge Dorfman. She says, "Margaret Miser Big McScrooge. I can't believe how late you are. You've been holding the feasting day meal for hours, and turkey got cold, and you had to repeat it. What do you have to say for yourself?" I say, let's see here. Let's try. "Please forgive me, darling. I was held up at work. You know how demanding my job can be." She says, "I can't believe you." I said, "Really, sweetness, I am sorry." She says, "I guess I will forgive you this time. Murgy, do you love me?" And I say, "Of course I love you, Pumpkin." She says, "Oh, how much do you love me, Murgy Candace?" And I say, "I love you more than all the stars in the sky." She says, "You really are a gentleman, Mr. McScrooge. Do you like my dress? It doesn't make me look fat, does it?" I say, "Of course not, honey bear. You look gorgeous as always." She says, "Thank you, Murgy. You don't think Nightingale is prettier than you, do you?" And I say, "Nightingale who? You're the only girl I see." She says, "You really are a sweetheart. What are you thinking about right now?" Let's see. I say, "How lovely you are, my dear." She says, "Oh, Fooky Wookie Snugglepin Smoochy Bear. Are you ever going to ask me to marry you?" And I say, "I'm just waiting for the perfect moment, honey bunny." She says, "Oh, Margaret, you will never be able to commit, will you? I care for you dearly, but, well, I don't really know how to say this. Please try not to be upset, but I just can't do this anymore. I love you. I do. But I just don't think we're compatible. You spend more time working than you do with me, and I need more than that. After talking with your friend Fable, I realize I deserve better than you." I say, "What? I can't believe this. You're leaving me for Fable? He doesn't even have a job." It's fitting to say. She says Fable is sweet and caring and willing to commit. He has already asked me to marry him. While he may not have your money, he has a good part, and that's what I'm looking for in a life partner. I'm sorry, Margaret, but it just has to be this way. And I say, but I can change, please." And she says, "Just go, Margaret." I say, "Fine, I'm gone." All right, I should speak with the ghost to return to the ghost house. Here's our ghost. Window says, "So that was fun, right?" I say, no, it wasn't. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm better off without her." She says, "What? No. She was the love of your life, your soulmate, your better half, your ball and chain, your significant other, your, uh, she was the spoon to your fork." I say, okay, I get it. I love her and miss her. I should have paid more attention to her when I had her. I've learned my lesson. Can we leave now? She says, "Glad you've learned your lesson. Let's go. I say, "Let's go then." Where do I go? No ghost here anymore. Let's speak to the ghost of Frostfell present. See what I have to do first with the present. Oh, it's me. There I am, right there. Huh. He says, "I is the ghost of Frostfell present. I is got to teach you a lesson at Scrabble." And I say, "Yes, let's get the show on the road." He says, "I is going to take you to see what being a big meanie does to people. Ready to go?" I say, "Yes, let's go." Hey, Strawberry, which part of the place are you in right now? Can you describe the rooms to me? Meanwhile, I'll talk to through the squid giver once minute. Oh wait, he says we're here. I say, "Where are we?" He says, "We at Bobby's house. Bobby works for years and you treat him terrible. It's not right." He makes evil. Now use gets to makes it better. Go on, we'll make things better. Got to see what they need and he gives it to them. I say, "All right." All right, Toby says, "Ooh, Priscilla." All right, and have you like tried running around on that little island out there? Because I think that it's like stomp gut, right? Like you have to hit a certain spot and it'll cause it to spawn. All right, where's Tiny Jim? Let's see what he says. Anything? No, nothing. Nothing. We talked about oh, okay. Another false spell. There's no presence doesn't do. Well, at least we have our health, right, Melody? Now I should see what yeah, go run over to it. See what Bobby has to say. The screw will be back at the office any moment. I'm so sorry I don't even have time to clear the tape again, but we both know he'll fire me if it catches me out of the office. I should check on Grand Passion. Grand Passion. Grand Passion. It says Grandma. That makes so much more sense. All right. Our poor Bobby works all those hours and we still can't afford to put a turkey on the table. How is it a feast until a celebration of food feast? I wish I could give that Scooby a piece of my mind. Okay, so Strody says, son of a. And I think that means that probably that was what he needed to do. No, no, for Jack. Let's check on him. Can't get this fire started. It seems like it's a race between freezing to death or starving to death. Choke that Scooby if I ever see him. No. We should give some of these Scooby's belongings to Tiny Jim and his sister. Stuffy says, yep, I wasted so much time. I will. Yeah, sorry about that, man. Stuff. Alright, so we are going to so if we give this package, now we don't need to destroy it. We need to give it to him. Examine. There we go. Oh, good. Look, buddy, you have presents. I hope one is more of my medicine. God. Happy Frostfell Holiday. We wrapped up each with his gold pocket watches like you comb in the bottle of aged scotch. Alright. Good job, us. Now we should clean the table for Bobby. Clean the dishes. Look at that. Dirty dishes just disappeared. What luck? I'm telling you, honey, things are really gonna start coming up quick chat. Alright, I should give the quick chats mix for those turkey. That would be a roasted chipmunk. Look at that, Sean. The turkey just showed up. Oh, wonderful. The turkey is still steaming. It smells quite tasty. Just hope Grandpa Chat fire up the heater. Okay, so we're gonna just go over here. Oh, hold on. And look at that. Fire lit up all on its own. See if you won't freeze to death. How wonderful. So all we did there was I moused over the heater, and personally, I just used the F key to click it. You can use the mouse button, but I find it easier sometimes to just use the F key. Strawberry says, well, thank you. I have all my pieces now. LOL. Congratulations. Glad I could help. I've learned the lesson of the present. Spoogle, I should speak with the ghost to leave. He says, you've done real good, Spreewoggins. You're going to give Bobby a big fat raise tomorrow? I say, sure, why not? He says, good. He deserves it. You ready to leave? I say, yes, let's go. I don't even know the present. Now I need to speak with the ghost of Frostfell Future. Let's still be giggle giver. Giggle giver. Ah, the ghost of Frostfell Future. You have a fearsome visage and stuff. You should cower. And I say, please don't hurt me, scary ghost. He says, McScribble, it is time you face the sad, horrible, terrible, bitter, depressing future you have waiting for you if you don't become a nicer person. Ready? I say, yes, let's go. The future. He says, ooh, at the center of the maze, you will find your future. Along the way, you'll face obstacles and witness a few surprises. Yes, go forth and experience. And I say, I'm going forth. And this is where we actually have some things here. That's a mez right there. That's a buff. It doesn't seem to want to fly. So there's that. Oh, who needs buffs? Try again. No such luck. Hopefully some of these things are okay, there we go. I wonder why this won't work. Interesting. Oh, that one on. Cool. You know what? It's just not graying out, but uh yeah, good enough. Margaret could be so sweet. It's terribly passed on like this. We could have had a good life together. We just wouldn't have cared would have cared more about me than work. Not that I'm not happy with my people. Which most him mainly to immediately unmost him. No, I could have used it now, but I suppose that would be the way to go, really. Mhm. Now, I feel like there might be something that we might need to get somewhere other than so that the maybe not. William Loftus says that Screw hid money put in vaults that he didn't think he'd find. He found them without proper due. No one can escape the taxation service. It was on the other side of that wall there. But you get over here. Sounds trellis. Tell me why I keep clicking this on again. All right. Realize Morgan was a big spirit, the meanest man in all the land, who died alone, poor, hungry, and terribly unhappy. So we'll examine the grave. We've made it to the center of the maze and seen Scrubble's future. We must speak with the burst of Frostfell future. Return to Scrubble's house. So we use the teleporter to return to the beginning of the maze. And then we talk to the gift shop. And we saw the ghost of Frostfell future. He says, this is your future, Screwball. You're just going to die alone, poor, and starving unless you become an upstanding citizen and an all-around nice man. If you've learned your lesson, and I say, Absolutely. Thank you. He says, he's ready to return to your life and become a newer, better, faster, shinier person. I say, yes, that's good. He says, promise you're going to be nicer? I say, yes, I promise. He says, pinky square? I say, pinky square. He says, cross your heart? I say, cross my heart. He says, hope to die? I say, hope to die. He says, stick a needle in your eye? I say, stick a needle in your eye. He says, shake on it. Calm spirit. I say, I'll pass on the handshake, but my word is my bond. Let's go. Got an ad starting in 25 seconds. And return to Mr. McScribble. Mr. McScribble says, thank you. God satisfied. I can't tell you how well I slept before you possessed me. The best present day I can remember. I say, Mr. McScribble, I think you should really reconsider your attitude. If you keep pushing people away in favor of money, you will wind up unhappy and alone. He says, just unhappy and alone? Last year I was also poor and starving. He just let me off lightly this year. I say, no, you're poor and starving too, begging for food even. He says, ha, I'll believe it and live it. Thanks for your concern, but I'm happy how I am. I say, if you say so. Oh, what's up? He says, that was good night's work on your part. Well done. Here's your payment. Now remove yourself from my property. You've worn out your usefulness. I say, thanks, I think. Now we have some options please to get to. Various and sundry possibilities here. We have another. See, the strange part is, you're fairly certain that I've run escape income. I miscarried. See that all. But there's also this one that's very nice. You can like it. You know what? I will take the legal snowball cake. You take part of my first outfit. Very nice. I like it. This is my candy game. I will speak with Luann Great Fine accepting wrath and snow globes in Antonica's Windstalker village. Well, that's easy enough. But first, let's make sure we don't have no quest at that running camp. I think it's possible, and then yes, those are my camp. There's also some candy cane races somewhere. I think in Antonica. All right, let's talk to Candace Cherry. She says, Certainly, Frostfell. What am I to do? My sweet shop and confectionery factory has been overrun by treats. I say, isn't that a good thing? Aside from for my waistline, that is. He says, not these treats. Try to fill your pie hole with these, and they're likely to tear you a new one. I say, they're fighting back? He says, and how? I said, good question. How? She says, oh, well, I was baking up a few helping hands to work needs during these festive days, and, something must have gone wrong. I said, it sure sounds like it. She says, for all that's sweet and joyous during Frostfell, tell me about it. I say, for sweets, I certainly will. She says, I'll join you inside my shop once you clear out your name for some of the attackers. I say, how do I get to this shop of yours? She says, I'll send you to my confectionery. Are you ready to go right now? Right now is a strong word because I see this shiny over there. But I'll come back. Now, I'm ready to go, Candace. All right, here we are, and Cherry, let's confectionery. For this experience, I'm going to change out of my Frostfell here. My hurt is showing. That's too bad. All right. Clear out the main floor of the factory. Let's start with pulling out pet, which is the only pet I have showing. I suppose it's doing so much so many things. I have to ace pull up another of the bars. All right. We're just moving forward and sending the pet after things at the moment. The main floor has been cleared of all aggressive trees. Talk to Candace. You certainly served up their just desserts, Roger. Now it's my turn to bake up a little something to help you. You say, what do you mean? She says, now, we wouldn't want to spoil the surprise. Get me some fresh gingerbread dough from the upstairs kitchens and you'll find out. I say, I'll get the gingerbread dough. So we'll gather some fresh gingerbread dough. Round the dough here. Salad dough. And then wrap. Apparently, I don't have full array on this character. That's interesting. He was definitely behind some of the others. Alright, so now we go talk to Candace again over here. Perfect repair. I'll have the stove baked up too sweet. I see what you did there. Mrs. Crumbles here will help you clear out the storage cellar of aggressive holiday treats. I assure you. Like cookies with cookies. This sounds good to me. And there's Crumbles. So now, going down this way. Yeah, I'll do the same thing the first time I already said one good one. I saw two Frostfell humbugs hiding from the cellar. The other won't. Follow the humbugs through the portal in the cellar, as I say after doing my quest. Here we go. Now that's in front of the humbugs, Dilly and Billy. Alright, down we go. Then, one touch the ginger chip made it down. So, some night cut off to do anything. I gather the bodies of the dead. So, reindeer there that we don't need to call in. That doing. Then there's a dog, dead, Billy. But can't leave the bodies of the person. Speak with Candace, and as far as I know, Candace is through that portal. Looks like just a reindeer hanging out here. Wow, that's Mary. Candace is back in the house, of course. Sturdy says, you know how you have one of the substitutes out from crafting? You hit them all and you can make 3 or 4, 5, 6. Alright, so if you look at them, you'll see the increased power and increased progress. I don't know how you have yours arranged on your hot log, but but I do the ones that increase progress, unless I need to increase durability. For me, that's 4, 5, and 6 to increase progress. I have to get back through this product and maybe not sure. Candace says, "Are they gone, O'Gare? Do I have to worry about my confectionery creations turning on once more?" I said, "I don't think so. Crumbles and I found the Frostfell humbugs that were behind the district. They won't be stirring up any more trouble for you." Candace says, "Take this as a token of my sugar-coated thanks." Holiday hero. I say, "You're such a sweet talker." And now, what do we want to? Well, I think all of those options. See, these 3 are pets that follow you around. I can show you what they look like. We've got this drop, this drop, or this drop. But I think I'll take the frozen Candace cherry with. Now, speak with Luan Greatly, line of instructor Marath and snowballs, and Candace going to Squawker Village. And so, that I can easily do. Put it on confront, and then you can pop right up here to the stars and very quickly hop down to Windstalker Village. And use more recent requests. And they want to have all of the that's kind of marked easily like this. With all those broken snow barrels. It's stuck to the end. The man says, "Watch where you step. There's glass all over it." And I say, "I see that. What happened to him?" She says, "It's not obvious. My entire inventory of snow globes are smashed to pieces." I said, "Oh." She says, "Wait, I must apologize. My anger has gotten the best of me. I should not lash out upon others. Forgive me." I say, "I forgive you." She says, "Thank you. Now, I must get back to cleaning this all up before someone gets hurt." I said, "Certainly." I must return to the Guardian and inform him of the attack on its would make a shot. So that will be back in well, in the Wonderland Village. Looks like we got an ad starting in 47 seconds. That just ran right over a shining. Sure did. Here we have Sugar Plum, who says, "I'd get up and celebrate the season with you, but I have some healing to do first." I said, "Healing? What happened?" Sugar Plum says, "See the entrance to the icy mines over there? Something's gone terribly wrong in there." I say, "You mining ice?" He says, "No, we're mining the unrefined gears used to create all of the Frostfell. We normally would have the mine closed up and we'd be celebrating with everyone else by now, but we didn't have a chance to finish our work due to the attack." I say, "We're attacked too." This is, you've got to understand, we've been mining these mountains for years and never have encountered a wyvern here before. I say, "A wyvern in there?" He says, "We've been following a particularly powerful vein of elven radiance, but it seemed to be enraging the otherwise docile elements ice elementals in the mines. Then we broke into a cavern. That's not unheard of, but this one was occupied by that damned ice wyvern, and it was not jolly to see us. I say no holiday spirit, huh? He says it must have been tapped into the raw. It must have been tapped into the raw magic of the place, because the next thing I knew, we were being attacked by ice elementals of all sorts from all around. And I say, you're lucky to survive. This is not all of us did. Some stayed behind to fight, to buy the rest of us time to get to safety. So here we sit, trying to heal before we go back in. I say, go back? Why would you do that? He says, we can't let everyone down. We still need the unrefined holiday cheer, the raw holiday spirit, and elven radiance for all those Frostfell gifts. I say, no, you stay out here. I'll go in, harvest the unrefined Frostfell fuels. He says, you do that? Wonderful. You'd be saving Frostfell for us all. I say, I'll even help clear the minds of any lingering threats. All right. There's that. Oh, let's make sure there's no more blinking feathers on my on the page here. When we go turn in where um Guardy over there. Guardy says, see, I'm feeling better already. I didn't even jump when you came up this time. Wait, what's the matter? Why don't you have any snow globes for me? I say, Luann Greeton's shop was hit. All of her snow globes were smashed. He says, it's happening again. I say, relax, Guardy. He says, you don't understand. Without those precious snow globes of globes of winter wonderment, there's no gifts to give. And without any gifts, I just continue to be ex-gift giver. I say there are plenty of other things you could give as gifts. He says, I don't know. Nothing says Frostfell like snow globe. That's why I never took that gnome up on his offer to make me gizmos or the troll's offer of flesh and bone dioramas. I say, wait a tick. Gnomish gizmos are perfect gifts. He says, really? I don't know. It doesn't seem so festive. If you insist, then you'll want to meet Nipnop, a fine constructor of gnomish toys and gizmos in Gnome Land Security. I say, I'm on my way right now. I'm not on my way right now, however. That is false statement. Because I think, though I do have a couple of quests that are going to take me there, and I do want to go there, but first I'm going to have to take a break because I haven't eaten supper yet, and my stomach's letting me know that it would like some. So I'm going to take a break. I doubt it'll be an hour, but you never know. It could be an hour. But I will be back, and hopefully nothing will interfere with that. We'll see. It was a pleasure streaming with all of you. And if you're not following me yet, be sure to follow me and turn on notifications so that you can see when I go live. I'm going to take a break, get some food, and hopefully see you all when I get back. Bye bye. Have fun, Stroke.